Hi everyone. Have you ever wondered why a same type of case gets a completely different result before different judges? Or why some lawyers consistently get favorable orders from specific judges while others struggle with the same arguments? Let me share about my litigation journey. When I was starting out in practice, seniors would always tell me, go and sit in the courts, observe the matters, and see how each judge handles the case. Watch their patterns. And you know what? They were absolutely right. The best lawyers know the judges inside out. But there is a problem. This takes years, right? To understand the entire system, understand different judges, and you have to sit through hundreds of hearings taking notes and slowly building that understanding. But let me tell you, now the game has completely changed. What if I told you that you can analyze a judge's decision making pattern by studying their past judgments? And AI can do this in minutes. Well, it's not just a judge's decision making pattern. In fact, you can go ahead and use AI to analyze any single legal document, whether it is your senior's writing style, whether it is a judge's thinking style, or whether it is any document that your colleague has sent to you. You can analyze any single legal document using AI. Well, all the years of observation are not required now because we can extract intelligence from written orders using AI. I'll tell you something that is still happening in the legal profession, although. Most lawyers are drafting based on their thinking style, how they process information and how they would structure arguments. But the judge reading the petition, they don't think like you. Every judge has a unique way of processing information, and some want a step by step statutory analysis, others prefer broad legal principles, some judges need exhaustive facts, and others want the conceptual framework, right? So, what if you can draft based on how the judges think instead of how you think? Well, what if you knew exactly what a specific judge finds compelling, how their brain processes information, and what tone and analysis and depth they prefer? Well, we've developed a system that analyzes a judge's previous judgments and creates a psychological profile. It uses AI and automation. So I've used a simple tool called make.com. We customize the petition and match the judge's decision making patterns, their psychological profile, and draft and even creates arguments accordingly. So we reorder the arguments basis how the judges would process them. We use language that resonates with them the most. We present evidence in the formats they find convincing and structure the entire petition for their brain. If you want to see how we can do this in real time, let me show you my workflow. Now, let me tell you how you can proceed on the process. To be able to analyze the judge's personality, you would have to first choose what kind of judge do you want to appear before, right? Whether it is a criminal case, civil case, and which judge are you appearing before? Whether it's the district court, the high court, or the Supreme Court. So, first, we need to understand what type of matter it is. Now, I will just share my screen and we will try and analyze personalities for a judge where we are trying to go for quashing of FIR, right? So, because I need to scrape out data, Indian Kanoon is my best shot. So I'm just going to type on Google Indian Kanoon. And you will see this is the first result that I have here. So I'm just going to click on browse judgments. Now, which is the court that I'm looking for? I've practiced at the Bombay High Court. I will choose Bombay High Court. You can choose this for any judge, any case, any type of matter, whether it is civil, criminal, tax, anything at all, right? I want to analyze latest judgments. I'm going to click on 2025 and I want judgments for the entire year. Perfect. Now I will have to filter this out. So let's say that I have a quashing petition and I want to analyze quashing of FIR in favor of the applicant. All right, so let's do this search. Now you see what is happening. I have 545 results, of which all of these judgments are about the fact that the application has gone in favor of the applicant. But I need to filter this down to a particular judge. So on the left hand side, you will find which judges have given these judgments. Let's say that I want to go for Justice V.V. Kankanwadi. All right. So I click on it and now I have 50 judgments. How does this help me? I have a data of the past 50 judgments of a particular judge in a particular matter. I can just scrape out the entire data of all the 50 cases in just a couple of minutes and understand what personality the judge has, what is it that led them to give an order in favor of the applicant. So whenever I have to go next before this judge, I can use that analysis in my drafting, in my arguments, and I can do this for any type of judge, any type of matter in any court. Now, once you have reached to the filter, right? Once you've reached to the specific data that you want, it could be anything. I'm just doing quashing of FIR. What you need to do is take the URL that is there right here and upload it to Visual Studios. Visual Studios is a very simple tool. It will help you generate a code, which is something that we'll have to put in make.com. That's our workflow. So I'm going to use this URL and want to make.com. Now, as you can see on my screen, this is how my entire workflow looks like. It's very simple. The first thing that we are doing here is putting a node of webhooks. I will just open this and show it to you. Now, we had the links of 50 plus judgments. So the only reason we've used webhook is to ensure that all the links of all the judgments given by Justice Vibha and Kankanwadi, they appear here. Okay. Now, to be able to analyze these judgments, I've integrated ChatGPT. So let me show you my prompt to ChatGPT. I say here that you are an expert judicial personality analyst. Analyze the attached document to determine the judge's personality based on the 16 MBTI inspired judicial personality types. Now, the Myers-Briggs basically gives you 16 personalities. We created 16 judicial personalities and understood judicial judges' decision-making patterns, their reasoning style, the language, etc. So the framework of how ChatGPT should analyze each judgment has been given in this prompt right here. Now, once it does it, it is going to show it in Google Sheets. And I have run this workflow right now. And this is my entire sheet. And this is my sheet. So let's just wait. A couple of entries have already come in while I was explaining the workflow to you. And this will keep analyzing judgments live in front of us. And you will see the entries will appear here. So let's wait and see. Okay, there we have it. So you can see in the case of Diksha Siddharth versus so and so, the author is the judge. So the judgments directly came in from Indian Kanoon. What is the personality assessment? That this is an analytical judge. What is the focus on? So you can see that the judgment focuses narrowly on case facts and legal provisions without broader policy or community references. What is the style? So you can see it's systematic and structured reasoning. It is fact driven, detail oriented also, and emphasis on procedural closure is there. Next, the judge conducts methodical review of factual and procedural aspects that apply statutes and precisions with precisions. Okay. Frequent use of phases are there, that it is not in dispute, it appears that so and so. This analysis has been given. And while I was showing that to you, another analysis has come in. And again, that yes, judges focuses on procedure, methodical presentation of facts is very important before this judge. In the next judgment also, again, Justice Vibha Kankanwadi says that systematic approach should be there, fact-driven approach, methodical and structured reasoning should be there. In this manner, you can see these judgments, the analysis of the judge's personality type based on the past judgment, specifically in relation to quashing of FIR, they keep coming. So we will get an entry of 50 judgments that have just happened in 2025. How this helps us? It will help us ensure, you can see, again, another judgment has come in, right? Another personality has come in. Now, what I have done in the workflow itself to make it further more easier is that I have taken up the same Google Sheet where I'm getting entries one by one, like this one. Instead of me going through every single entry, I have put in an aggregator here. Now, what the aggregator is going to do, it is going to compile the entire data for me, and then I put in a Claude integration. What do I say to Claude? That you are an expert legal strategist analyzing multiple judicial personality assessment. Analyze the provided individual judgment analysis to identify patterns, predict judicial behavior, and recommend effective arguments. Now, instead of me going through every single analysis in the 50 judgments and trying to figure out the common points, I've put this aggregator and called Claude integration in place. And once I run this, I get a full strategic analysis of how the judge really wants arguments to happen, how the judge wants the presentation to happen in a Google document. Now, I have run this live and let me show you how my final document looks like. Now, as you can see, I've just copy pasted that data and I've just opened up this data. You can see this automatically comes into my drive. I don't even need to create a separate document. It automatically will appear in my drive. So let's look at the document now. So it is analyzed around 50 judgments and this is a summary about the judge, right? So what is the methodology? So it is given personality type distribution also, that yes, the Common archetypes are that the judge is methodical, procedural, systematic, and traditional in their approach. Then you can see that the dominant trait is introversion about the judge. The judge focuses more on thinking rather than feeling, and it is judging more than the perception that is coming in, right? If you see the decision making style, so it clearly tells us that the judge is adopting a methodical approach by laying out issues numerically, applying legal standards rigorously, and reaching clear resolutions. Decisions are driven by procedural compliance a lot in this court. So, the strategy that we should be using is that we should give a structured presentation. Precedent should be mentioned, right? So, we necessarily need to cite Supreme Court and High Court decisions extensively before this judge. Statutory compliance focus should be there, and factual presentation should also include the document numbers, dates, evidence, etc. What is it that we should avoid before this judge has also been analyzed? For example, emotional appeals. Now, some judges would have this trait where emotional appeal works before them, but here you see before this particular judge, legal criteria is more important. So we should avoid emotional appeals. Something that we've not been able to identify in just a few minutes, but with the help of AI, we are able to do this, right? Even policy based arguments, vague allegations, novel theories do not work before this judge. Now you can see the entire personality type. The winning argument formula has been given. What is it that we should avoid? We should definitely avoid attempting to bypass procedural requirements, emotional arguments, disorganized presentations, and what are the principles to follow, right? And we have this further analysis by case type also. If you see for criminal quashing, what is it that we should do? So in terms of argument, what is it that we should argue first? But if it is an FIR challenge, what should we do? If it is a forgery case, what should we do? So you can even go ahead and get a further analysis on the type of case, like AI has given to us. Now, how do we use this, right? We have the entire analysis of a particular judge. I have a draft of a quashing of an FIR that I had drafted for the Bombay High Court, right? Now, I want to change my entire drafting style based on the judge's personality type. So, what I have done here is I go to Claude AI. It is a free tool, by the way. You can also use it. And you can see these are my project files. The first thing that I put here is the draft of my own petition that I have drafted, right? So this is my entire draft of quashing of an FIR that I had done before the Bombay High Court. And I give it a strategic legal analysis, something that I got from my workflow. So I say that this is the personality type of the judge. Now, what do I want? What is my ultimate goal? I want to change my draft as per the judge's personality type. And to make sure that this is completely legally correct also, I go ahead and give project instructions as well. For example, if there is legal update required, do a red line formatting. So I want to see what changes have been made. Are there any changes in my original drafting versus what the judge is expecting? Court ready format should be there, so I tell it that make sure the party details, professional language, the sections, the jurisdiction, fact ground, everything is in place and it is in order, and other details, right? So it's always better to give project instructions so your drafting or your prompting will be foolproof, right? Now I give it this prompt. I'm just going to go ahead and give it, and then we'll read through the prompt to save the time. I say execute a complete legal draft revision as per the project instructions, right? So I ask AI to follow the instruction. I say access my uploaded judge personality assessment that we got through the workflow and my original draft from the project files. Then deliver a complete comprehensive court ready draft. So again, if there is any section update, argument restructuring is required, red line format, right? If you're deleting something that I have written and incorporating something new based on the judge's personality type, I want to understand that. So give that. Give a court ready format because I want to file this immediately. I don't want to again do the prompting process with AI. So it's better to give this prompt. I say the draft should be comprehensive, include mandatory submissions, and not have unnecessary headings or include a single fact argument, right? It should be perfect that I can immediately go and file it in the court. Case laws also and arguments as well. And now it has analyzed both the project files, which is the judge's personality type and my original draft, and it is going ahead and drafting it based on the judge's personality type. You can see it is analyzing it, and then I will get the draft. Let's wait for it. Okay, so you can see that drafting is happening right now. It's changing my original draft based on the personality type of the judge. There you can see it has finally made the court-ready FIR quashing application, which is the judge's optimized revision. And you can see the major legal updates that it has done, the specific optimization it has done for ISTJ personality. Argument presentation has changed, the language and tone has also changed. So let's go through the draft and have a look at it. Okay, so again, you can see that there are red line changes. Whatever has changed, Claude is letting me know. Okay, so application is now 528 of BNSS. So the legal provision is mentioned correctly. Criminal application number, the party names are written. Okay, now jurisdiction has changed because earlier the draft was as per CRPC. Now it is changed to 528. It has added this, this part was missing. It has added a case law. If you remember, the judge had a methodical approach and needed placement of judicial precedents here, and that has been added by Claude. You can see that it is marked in bold, so we can understand the changes also. Now, again, here this change has been made. If you look at the chronological factual matrix, it also tells us why it is given a chronological factual matrix in this manner, because a methodical evaluation is done here, which is preferred by the Honorable Court. So facts are presented in that manner. The allegations, if you see the legal position has been provided, then the documentary exoneration that is there, every single thing has been done in pointers, clarifications have been given, the grounds have been incorporated. Okay, moving on. So there are 7 to 8 grounds taken into consideration. The binding presidential authority has been included. This was not there in the draft earlier. And you can see this is applied because the judge prefers this also. So that approach has been taken and put. So State of Haryana versus Bhajanlal, Arnesh versus State of Bihar, all of these cases have been added. Then it goes on to also discuss on statutory protection that is there to the applicant here. So some details around that. And finally, coming to the prayer with the annexure, the verification, and you can see it is giving you the summary. This will, of course, not form a part of your application, but it tells you what the optimizations are there, right? Chronological timeline, precedent hierarchy, procedural compliance, something that the judge prefers. Now, this completely changes the game. You are able to go and put up any single legal document before any single judge for any single matter, whether it is an application for bail, whether it is an anticipatory bail, a special leave petition, a transfer petition, tender case, or even a quashing of FIR or a tax appeal. It could be anything. If you are able to gather a database of the past judgments of the judge, which is very easy to find, by the way, upload them into a workflow and analyze the personality type, you are able to get this within just minutes. It's a game changer on how you can approach your practice altogether, right? There are still lawyers who are using generic drafts and trying to copy paste stuff by changing facts and dates. In fact, I've seen lawyers do it myself when I was practicing, but that does not help. When you use this approach, it changes the game for you completely. In fact, this is just drafting, but you can also choose to frame your entire arguments based on the judge's personality type. And there is a lot more that you can do with AI, because AI has revolutionized how lawyers can approach their practice and turbocharge their legal careers by using AI. If you're not still doing this, not learning how to do this, I'm telling you, you're going to be left behind. There is so much more. In fact, we'll also discuss how you can attract more clients by publishing blogs by an automated system using AI. We will also show you how you can find the best suited lawyer before a particular bench, again, by doing data driven decision making. In fact, you can use AI to create an entire system for automating your practice, train your juniors, have drafts ready, and well, do so much more. We're discussing this and a lot more in our 3-day online live bootcamp. It's happening on 14th, 15th, and 16th of November. It's a 3-day online live bootcamp. So make sure you do not miss that. I will be there teaching you all of these skills, teaching you different kinds of techniques with AI and how you can scale up your practice. So do not miss out. It is a live bootcamp. Recordings will not be available. So make sure to join it live. And if you like this, make sure you give a thumbs up. And if you want me to create videos on other topics, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to do that for you. I'm Nidhi signing off. Bye bye.